Hello everybody, welcome back to Simple Art for Adults. My name is Erin and I've got something awesome today. I have all kinds of happy mail here that I want to show you. I've got a few things I got one thing that I bought for myself. I have one thing that my boyfriend Jason bought for me because he's awesome. And then I have three things that Keni bought for me. And Keni, I'm not going to even try to say your last name because I'm terrible with it. So we'll just say Keni V. She's an awesome YouTube subscriber and she's just so sweet, and she generously sent me some things that I had on my Amazon wish list, and I'm going to show it all off to you today. So I hope you guys are ready. Let me turn my chair back around here and get my sweater just in case. It's one of those weird days today where it's been hot all day and then it rained and then it got cold and then the sun came back out, so now it's hot again. Okay, so I've got my swatch chart out, so you know we're going to be swatching something, which will be dun-da-dum! Finally, I have been eyeballing these forever. I have got the full 72 set of the Lyra Polycolor pencils. This is what the case looks like. This is a cardboard sleeve that fits over the tin. It has swatches on the back for you already, but I don't like to go by these. They're generally not too terribly off. These are actually pretty close to what the pencils look like, but I'm still going to make my own. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be swatching these out and moving them over into a case. I also bought myself while I was shopping on Amazon because I wanted this book for so long and I've seen so many people coloring in it. This is the Pop Manga Mermaids and Other Sea Creatures by Camilla D'Erico. This book is just, I'm sure you guys have probably seen this like 100 million times. This book is amazing. It is so gorgeous, and what I'm interested in is doing the backgrounds. And I used to hate backgrounds. They used to be so intimidating, but not anymore. I'm like actually really excited to do these. They're just so cute. So this is what I bought for myself. Jason bought me the pencils. This was a gift from Keni. She sent it to me so that we can do color alongs and tutorials in it, because I know that so many of you guys have this book. And it's now available through Amazon if you didn't get it the first go around, and I know that you couldn't get it for a long time, but now you can. So we've got Sagar Oak Sagner by Emily Oberg, and this book is absolutely gorgeous. I cannot wait to color in this with you guys. I'm so excited to do some color alongs, to do some events, to do some tutorials on how to do things. We're going to have a whole lot of fun in this book. Next from Keni was Geomorphia, which I have also had on my wish list since I knew it was coming out. And I know that this one wasn't a favorite with a lot of Kirby's fans, but I really like it. And I'm not really into coloring animals, but I really like this book. And there's several pictures in here that I'm really excited to color. What I really like about it is that it's single-sided, so I can go in here with my Cali Art markers, because honestly, you guys know me, I don't use markers a lot. But I may actually give it a shot because this paper, it's got just enough tooth, I think, for colored pencil, but it's also smooth enough that it won't eat my marker tips alive. So I'm really excited to try this out. And then finally, the one that I wanted more than all the rest, Flowers and Gems, and I almost cried when I saw this book. So Keni, you are just a sweetheart, and I appreciate these books like you just don't even know. This book is so gorgeous, and I am so excited. I haven't colored skin in a very long time, but I'm definitely ready to jump back in and give it a shot. These pages are all single-sided too, so I could do a marker base, which is something that I would definitely like to teach myself how to do, start doing some marker bases. I'm not sure if I want to actually color these, or since it's the way that it is, I may end up trying to scan them in and having some copies printed out so I can color them more than once. Marker coloring goes really fast, so I feel like if I can color something quickly, I'm probably going to want to do it more than once. So that's definitely something I may end up doing with this. So here's all my happy mail, you guys. I'm so excited. So excited. So I'm going to put the books off to the side. And we're going to dive right in here and take a look at the Polycolor pencils. I know you guys want to know what the blue post-it note is. This is the center of my camera. So if I get confused, I know where the middle is, and you guys can see. So let's zoom in just a little bit. There we go. So this is what it looks like. This is it says fine art, break resistant, 72 pieces, 4mm cores. The pencils themselves are really thin, so it surprises me that the cores are 4mm, but they are. and they are light resistant. On the back is where you get your light resistance. So you get extremely good for 3 stars, 2 stars is good, and 1 is satisfying. And I don't know what satisfying means. I should point out though that most of these do have 3 stars. There's only a handful that have 2, and there's only 2 that I've seen that have 1. And that is the dark violet purple and the wine red. All of which happen to be some of, or no wait, I got that backwards. Magenta and dark violet are the only ones with 1 star. So let's go ahead and take this out because we are going to be working with these just a little bit today. I'm going to swatch and chat, I think, if I can find enough stuff to chat about to keep everybody entertained. So they come in this really, really nice tin. The lid is actually hinged so it won't fall off, and I like that it's just silver. Now, I already have like 50 something of these pencils, but some of them are kind of small, and I keep them in this case. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take the ones I have out of here. We're going to put them over in the teal case that was this was another present from a subscriber, and for the life of me, I can't remember who sent it to me, so if you would like to email me or even leave a comment below and tell me if you're the one that sent this, you are a lifesaver. This is going to be my favorite case. I love this color. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to put the used pencils I've already used, I'm going to put in the case. The ones that I have not yet used are going to go back into the tin so that they'll just be like my extras, which is awesome that I have them. So how are we going to finagle this because my desk is full? Alright, let's move everything over. Find my swatch paper. I have a Color It gel pen here that I can write with. Alright, so the pencil set, we're doing the Lyra Polycolor. Ooh. Lyra Polycolor 72. And I'm going to need a black pen to write the names of the pencils down. Bear with me just a second while I find one. I don't want a friction pen because I'll end up rubbing that off. Alright, so I have a Uniball Signo here that we can do that with. And I will also need my stencil. Aha! This is the stencil that I usually use to do my swatches. It's got like different size rectangles and circles and stuff on it, which it's really, really helpful. So let's see which rectangle works the best. I can even use a circle if I need to. It's fine with me. I don't really mind. I think this one, the center one here, is actually going to be the best. It won't take up the whole box, but that's just fine. Okay, so let me scoot these pencils over just a wee little bit, and we will get this going. I'll zoom you guys in, bang everything around over here because that's what I do. So you guys can revel in the awesome colors with me. Isn't that fun? Alright, get it. You can up here in the center. Zoom you back in. Alright. So first one on the list, of course, is going to be the white. I'm going to write a few at a time. White, cream, zinc yellow, lemon cadmium, swatching is so relaxing to me. It really is. And light chrome. We'll do these 5 first. The swatch sheet is from Coloring Pages Bliss, which is now Coloring Bliss. It's Jennifer Stay's website. At the time, these were the best swatch charts I could find anywhere, and they very well may still be. I just haven't looked in a long time, so if you guys have recommendations of your favorite swatch charts, feel free to send them my way. I don't keep a swatch book. I keep these in plastic protectors in a binder. So there's white. I don't know why I bother to swatch white, but I always do. So there's the white, so cream. And what I do is I just center the little rectangle over where I want the color to go. And I start out really light and gradually increase my pressure. And then once I get to about the middle point, I'll go hard pressure from the bottom up and just meet in the middle. And this makes it so much easier, and it keeps my swatches neat, and I don't really even have to think about it too hard. It just kind of happens by itself. Next is zinc yellow. So how has everybody been? I know it's only been a couple of days since you saw me last, but life has been crazy on my end. I've been busy with work and with my 17-year-old daughter breaking the crap out of her iPhone that she just got. So we're in the process of trying to figure out who's going to fix her iPhone, but she's paying for it, not me. I tried to tell her to get a case on it. She didn't listen to me. So we're going to get her iPhone fixed. I'm trying to help her find a good case for her phone to keep it from breaking again. I personally like the OtterBox wallet style cases. I've had one on my phone for 2.5 years and it's protected it. That lemon cadmium is like such a vibrant color. I really like that. Alright, then we've got light chrome, which is the next one. So we'll have to do that tomorrow. That's the plan. Fortunately, she doesn't have any classes on campus until, I think she said 12:30, so we'll have plenty of time to go and get her phone. Or at least drop it off somewhere to have it fixed. She dropped it on the concrete the other day, and that broke the screen some. And then today she was coming in here to bring me some allergy medicine that she had in her room, and she slipped and fell, and her elbow landed right on the screen where it was already broken, and broke it like badly. So there's no using it. In fact, I think it cut her elbow just a little bit. If it wasn't for bad luck, there would be no luck at all. There's a lot of yellows in this set, guys. So if I sniffle or if I sound nasally, I am really sorry. I have either allergies or cold. I haven't been able to figure out which one just yet. I don't feel bad. I just sound bad. So I'm gonna go with allergies, and I know that's everywhere. Have you guys seen the pictures on the news of the giant pollen clouds that were over parts of the country? I think there was one in Georgia, one in North Carolina. We had one here. That probably explains what's wrong with me. That was lemon. Alright, so one thing I can tell you right now is that some of these, I think there's too many yellows. And that's just me, because I may change my mind when I actually sit down to use the pencils on something. But a lot of these are kind of similar, and they're just like a shade darker than the one before. Like that canary, it's kind of like the dark Naples in the polychromos set. Right, orange yellow. It'll be a miracle if I get through all these swatches without skipping over anything. I usually miss one, and I end up putting it at the end, and it's out of order, and it bothers me. Alright, so let's put some more names on here. We've got light orange. And then I think we've got regular orange, if I remember correctly. Nope, dark orange. At least they name their colors and things you can remember. Vermilion, and then Scarlet Lake. Alright, let's do the next few. So make sure I have light orange in my hand, and I do. I always thought vermilion was dark orange, but I guess vermilion's more of a red orange. Depending on how long this takes me to get through this, I may actually do a little coloring in Fairy Miracles on the title page that we started. Dark orange. And I went back through and watched all the videos from the nice little town color along that I started and didn't finish. And I think I may end up revisiting that soon because I really want to finish that page. And a lot of people have commented asking me to finish the page, so I think we're going to do that. And then we have vermilion. See, the vermilion in this set is more red than orange, and a lot of times it's the other way around. In a lot of sets it's more orange than red. See, that seems like more of a true red than an orange red. Okay, Scarlet Lake. Yeah, my boyfriend knew that I've been eyeballing a set of pencils forever. And back kind of when I went on my hiatus, these pencils were like 90 bucks or more for the 72, and I was like, man, I just don't want to pay that much for them. And we got them for $41. So they're $41 if you guys have had your eyes on them. Excuse me. For the whole set. And they are artist quality pencils. They're somewhere, if in my opinion, they're somewhere between like a Prismacolor and a Polychromos. I think they're like a blend of like the wax and the oil, so they have a higher oil content, I think, than most. I can't be certain of that. I'm sure that somebody else probably knows. It's probably in a different review, and I've watched a lot of reviews on these, and I should know, but I just don't remember. But they go down easy. They don't layer as much as Polychromos. You can't get as many layers out of them, but they do layer nicely, and they blend beautifully. And if I'm going to do a pencil background, like if I'm just going to do like a blended background and colored pencil, these are my go-tos. They really are. These are the go-to pencils because it's hard to leave behind like the pencil streaks that you get from like overlapping your layers or whatever. It's really hard to do that. Let me get my paintbrush. Oh, I haven't got one of these. This is probably better. Alright, so now we're at Rose Carmine. So if you guys have access to these, or if you have some in your possession and you've never tried to do a pencil background with them, give it a shot. I'm serious. Give it a shot because these pencils are really easy. You can see my line from my post-it note I have under here. That's alright. All I need to do is see what color it is. Maybe I can just move that out of the way for right now. We'll put it back in a minute. Alright, dark carmine. Carmine. Nope, I need dark carmine. There it is. So just FYI, I'm probably going to end up doing a page with these pencils soon, other than the Fairy Miracles one, because that's just my color and chat page. I want to try to do another color along once I get the nice little town one finished, and I'm probably going to do it with these pencils, and I'm probably going to do it in Sagar Oak Sagner because it is one of my favorite books of all time, and I know that a lot of people do happen to have it. Oh, I guess I should write this down. Light Carmine. And if you do not have it, it is not a $10 coloring book. It is on the pricier side, but it is a good quality book. It takes light water media very well. It takes every pencil I've put on it very well. I'm just really excited. I'm so happy. And to me, it's worth it. To me, being costly, it is worth it. Because it's one of those things that, you know, you're gonna get enjoyment out of it. And if you really want to stop and think about it, if you have kids who play video games, or if you have husbands who play video games, they're paying, you know, $60 for a game when it comes out. And some of those games you can play repeatedly, and they have good replay value. Some of them don't. Some of them have about, I don't know, 10 hours of content, and then they're over with. That's it. So if you ever feel like, oh, that's a lot of money to spend on a coloring book, honestly, for the books themselves, coloring isn't that expensive of a hobby. It's the supplies that really start to get you. And if I can justify spending $30 on a coloring book, so can you. Put back a couple bucks every time you're doing the laundry, and a couple bucks falls out of somebody's pocket. Stick it in a jar somewhere. And then before you know it, you will have the funds to order your book. And something else to remember, and I know people get really upset. I've had some pretty, upset emails telling me that you never pick a book that I have. Well, the thing about color alongs is this. They don't go anywhere. Once I get them up on YouTube and they're finished, they're always going to be there. I still do color alongs with stuff that like Chris Chang did years ago. I'm still coloring along with it. So it's not like you have to do it right now, because you don't. Delft blue. It's such a weird word. If you can't do it right now, like if you can't do it at the time that I put it up, don't worry about it. Do it when you can. There are so many color alongs going on in the community all the time that you really are always going to have something to do. I'm just writing all the names of the pencils down first. Like cobalt. And then I'll come back through and swatch. It just makes it go faster. Sky blue, it's one of the prettiest sky blues of all the pencils I own. Light blue is a really pretty color too. Their blues are so rich. And I think they may even beat Prismacolor in the richness category. True blue. Oriental blue. Ooh, that's a new one. Never seen that one. Yeah, there are several colors, over 20 colors that I haven't seen from this brand. Paris blue is a new one. There's a Splendor blender in there also. There's 2 Splendor blenders. There's one with each tray. Nifty. Even though I don't really like the Splendor blenders. Say that 10 times fast. Prussian blue. Peacock blue, one of my favorite colors in the Prismacolor set. Aquamarine. So my next goal, and I'm gonna do it, and I think I say this in every single video that I ever make, I'm gonna get the Pablos. I'm gonna get them. I'm going to. Everybody keeps telling me, everybody who has them, every time I mention it, they email me and they're like, if you like the Lyras and if you like the Polychromos, you're gonna love the Pablos. And I'm like, I know! Stop reminding me. I'm hoping I'll be able to order them in a few weeks. I really am. The day that they arrive in the mail, I will probably cry. I'll probably cry tears of joy. And I'll probably like pet them and smell them and love them. Oops, I'm off screen again. True green's a really pretty color in this set too. Emerald green. I know you guys are probably really sick and tired of me writing words here. And I know some of you would watch me swatch anything. It wouldn't matter what I was doing. You guys would just be here and be happy. Which is awesome. I appreciate it. I really, really do. You all are awesome. I don't know what I would do without all of you. Juniper green. Oh, guys, I think I may have just heard a rumble of thunder. If it starts thundering too much, I may have to unplug for a little while until it goes away. But I'll finish. Last green. Apple green. I love apple green in this set. It's my favorite green. light green, excuse me, gray green. That's a neat color. I see that more often in markers than I do in pencils. And I don't have markers either. I don't have many markers, which is something I'm gonna start practicing with. What I like to do is actually get enough pictures finished during a month to be able to make you guys a video and show you everything that I got done that month. But I color so slowly, and it doesn't help that I stay busy and I don't have a whole lot of time for coloring during the day. I think I could probably finish like 4 or 5 pages a month if I really tried to. And that's good. I mean, I can show you those 4 or 5 pages. And kind of talk about what I used to do them, how I used it. It might give me a little more, it might kind of make me decide to use different media. Like the Neo colors, I want to use those so bad. The 30 set of those is under $40 right now. So they are also in my wish list. But see, here's the thing. If I keep ordering stuff like that, I'm never going to get my Pablos. So I'm just going to have to sit and look at those pretty Neo colors and know that they're on sale. But I'm going to wait it out. I don't know if it's a sale or if that's just how much they are. I'm trying to have some willpower, guys. And it's really hard. I only bought the Mermaids book for myself because it was like right at $10. And I'd never seen it that cheap and I wanted it really bad. So I'm not buying anything else until I save up money for the Pablos. In fact, every time I think about spending money, I'm just going to say no, and I'm going to put that money into a savings account specifically for the Pablos. And maybe I'll have it soon if I do it like that. Pompeian? They spelled Pompeian red. Is it supposed to be Pompeian? Did they spell it wrong? I should know that. I'm a writer. Indian red? I'm off camera again almost. Indian red, burnt carmine, purple, light gray, silver gray, medium gray, dark gray, and black. And that's all. Alright guys, let me go check the radar and see what's going on with the weather. And I shall return to come back to start swatching. We are at light carmine. Bear with me just a minute. Alright folks, sorry about the interruption. I did just need to go check on the radar and make sure nothing horrible was coming my way. So far it doesn't seem like it, and I don't think it's really going to, so I think I'm in the clear. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go right back to swatching. I am on light carmine. Let me move my tray back over here. So we still got a bunch of pencils to get through, but we'll make it. I had to stop and pull some brine shrimp out for my fish. I feed them frozen brine shrimp a few times a week, and I just realized what time it was. It's almost 7 o'clock, and I had not thawed the brine shrimp. It takes only about half an hour to thaw out, so we've got to do that. This is the Rose Madder Lake. This is a really pretty pink, and this is a super soft pencil too, really soft. And then we are on Pink Madder Lake, which, if I recall, is another really soft pencil. Yeah, the pinks are really soft in this set. A lot of the pencils are really soft. Not all of them are. Some of them are a little bit harder than others. So when I realized how inexpensive the pencils had become on Amazon, I went over to dickblick.com to see how much the open stock was, because back before I went on my coloring break, they were pretty close to the price of luminance each, which is just insane. But now they're like $1.75 a piece, which is still kind of pricey, really, considering that you get all 72 for 40 bucks. But it's a whole lot better than $3.50, so I won't complain. And I know that these pencils used to be affordable for everybody but the United States. Like, it used to just be us here in the U.S. who were paying a small fortune for them, and other people could get them pretty inexpensively, kind of like Derwent. And I mean, the Derwent stuff is not necessarily cheap for other people in other places, but it's not nearly as expensive for them as it is for us. So now, wine red. I was using this color in my Fairy Miracles book just a little while ago today. It's a really nice deep burgundy color. Now that I have all the names written out, it shouldn't be too hard to knock all these swatches out. Now we're on to magenta, I think. Yep, that's magenta. I'm not used to magenta being purple. But magenta was usually a more pinky purple than this. That's like an awesome color. It's going to be my favorite part of this whole entire thing, is all the purples. Red violet. That reminds me a lot of the Grade Lavender from the Prismacolor set, honestly. And to be completely fair, that's the closest I've seen in any set to come to that color. Dark violet. Yeah, you guys, if my swatches aren't perfect, it's fine. I don't expect my swatches to be perfect, as long as I can get an idea of what the color is. Blue violet. There it is. I had to hunt for it for a second. It might actually be easier for me to just start at the bottom and work my way up, honestly. I'm out of practice. I haven't swatched in forever. And then we got regular violet, I think. Yep, violet. This is a scratchy pencil. I mean, it's soft, but it's scratchier. Light violet, which is one of my favorite colors in this set. I've been through about 4 of these pencils. You can probably hear the scratchiness. And I think it's something to do with the purple pigments, and this is the reason why a lot of purples and pinks are, and most sets aren't as light fast as other colors. And I think that might have something to do with why they tend to be scratchy too. That was Delft blue. Now we're on deep cobalt, which is an awesome, awesome blue. I love this color. Isn't that pretty? Look how pretty. Ah, I keep slamming that thing down. I'm going to break somebody's eardrums. Light cobalt. Nope, that's not it. There it is. So I'll put a link to these pencils down in the description box for you if you're interested. As always, any links that you find in the description boxes of my videos are going to be Amazon affiliate links. And basically that just means that if you purchase anything through those links, I will receive a small commission, literally pennies for every purchase you make. I'm legally obligated to tell you that. And plus, it's always a good thing to be transparent with people. Sky blue, and then light blue. It really does also help to support the channel and stuff like that will go toward my Pablos. Seriously, that money goes into my coloring fund, so I can do things like that. True blue. Ooh, this is a super soft one. Like, it's just kind of crumbling on me when I pushed hard. I have to remember that. Away, away, away. Set it down gently, Aaron, gently. Oriental blue, which is a new color I haven't seen before. Oh, wow. That's crazy rich blue. That's a very pretty blue. It's almost got like almost like a little tiny bit of a greenish hue. Paris blue. It's another really pretty one. Alright, and that finishes off the first tray. So, brush away the blue crumbles. Prussian blue, which is another awesome blue. Two of my favorite colors in here are the Viridian and the Night Green. And I don't know why. Those typically aren't colors that really speak to me, but they're just so unique, I think. Now we've got the Peacock Blue. Really pretty. Aquamarine. I'm so excited. I'm really happy to have these. So now when the picture I'm coloring in Fairy Miracles, I can pick some new colors. Oh, I keep doing that. I'm going to put it over here so it won't do that. Night Green, which is one of the best colors in this whole entire set. Look how nice that is. Can you guys see that pretty good? Look how pretty that color is. It's almost like the Peacock in the Prismacolor set. So it's just a little bit darker than the Peacock Blue, but it's definitely darker. And we've got Sea Green, which is a new color for me from these guys as well. Definitely not the sea green I was used to with the Crayola crayons. You guys know what I'm talking about? The Crayola sea green. It's like a toothpaste color. Hooker's green. Like a seafoam green, I think, is what I'm trying to think of. This sea green doesn't look like any sea green I've ever seen, but that's okay. Ooh, we're sliding. Viridian, which is another one of the best colors in this whole entire set. And you guys know me. If you guys have been around since the inception of Simple Art for Adults, you know how much I absolutely love Johanna Basford. And I love to color flowers and foliage. Landscapes I like to do sometimes, but not always. But the greens are usually the first pencils in my set to go. Almost always, the greens and purples. So I'm really happy to see all these different shades of green. Now see, this true green reminds me more of the sea green that I'm used to. Emerald green. So is all the swatching making anybody desperately want these pencils yet? Juniper green. I'm going to have to move my swatch paper up after this one. Nice, deep, rich, like a forest green. Sap green, which is another excellent one. Hope you guys are really enjoying the my swatching advice here, where you use the little stencil. It keeps your swatches really nice and neat, and you don't even really have to work. You just kind of have to get used to it, because smacking the sides of the plastic can break the pencil tips off, especially with the Prismacolor. So you do have to kind of take your time a little more with the Prismacolors. But for the most part, every other pencil I've swatched with, I've done it this way. Apple green. I forgot to release the pressure on that one a little bit, I think. Light green. That's alright. Apple green's one of my favorite colors ever. So I know what it looks like. That light green's awesome too. It's almost like neon. And then we're on the gray green, which is what I really want to see. That's a scratchy, weird color too. Beth, you wouldn't like the ones, when I'm saying they're scratchy, you wouldn't like these. Those of you who have the luminance, you know what the Castle Earth feels like. And it's a really pretty color, and I like it, and I use it often. Well, she doesn't like it at all. She'll avoid using it at all costs because she says it's too scratchy. It feels weird. It gives her the heebie-jeebies. I like Castle Earth, though. It's like a purpley brown, and it's so cool. It's like so good for shadows. Like if you're doing shadows in a warm light environment, it's so weird. It's like you can't tell if it's warm or cool, but it makes the best shadows either way. That was cedar green, dark sepia. So, fun little tidbit. When I was a kid, my dad, who had no idea what sepia was, always used to pronounce it CP. And we would laugh as kids. Of course, you know, CP. So we would laugh. And to this day in my head, whenever I see a sepia pencil or crayon, I still think CP. Raw umber, which is a nice brown. I love it so much. Brown ochre. The browns, for whatever reason in this set, are kind of really lacking, and I don't know why. I guess they figure, you know, because you can mix browns pretty easily. But with colored pencils, it's hard to mix browns. It really is, especially over like some large square footage. Mixing browns is kind of tough. Generally, you're going to need at least 3 colors to make a nice brown. And so you can imagine how long that would take. So now we're at light ochre. Some cleanup here on the last row, folks. Almost there, if you're tired of me swatching and talking. Now we're at burnt ochre. I'm kind of bummed out. I think I have all the browns already. And I was really hoping that there would be some more in the set. That's like probably my second complaint, and the only 2 I'm going to have is that some of the colors are pretty scratchy feeling, kind of like that Castle Earth, and there's just not enough browns. I like a good range of browns. Like the Polychromos range of browns is amazing. The Prismacolor range of browns is even better, but of course with Prismacolor you've got 150 pencils to work with, so maybe these guys will decide to make a bigger set sometime. As far as I'm aware, the 72 is the most they make. They make a box set that has like 100 and something pencils in it, but it's the 72 colored pencils, blenders, and I think a drawing set, if I remember correctly. It's not any more colors of colored pencils. Don't quote me, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I read. These deep reds are nice too. Burnt carmine. And I suppose you could always use like your yellows and reds and make new browns. Like just layer the 2 colors, like one of these brownie reds and one of the ochres, and make new browns that way with just 2 colors. That would be an option. Purple. And their purple is not purple. Not like I'm used to purple. It is purple. Just before somebody gets in the comments and tells me I'm silly. It's purple. It's just not purple that we're used to. Light gray. Very nice light gray. silver gray. As far as I'm aware, it's not metallic. I don't think so, but I'll look for you here in a second. Let's take a peek and see. Well, let's finish these last three pencils. Medium gray. Dark gray. And black. And the black is just a really good black. And I'm really weird about my blacks. I hate it when pencil manufacturers call it gray pencil black. That's not black. Alright, and that's that. That is the whole set of 72 pencils. Let me zoom you out just a little bit so you can get a look at the color range all together. So that is a pretty awesome range of colors, except for the lack of browns. That's the only thing. That's really the only thing that I don't like about this set of pencils. I can work around that. Like I said, I think you could probably take the few browns that you do have here. You have like 4 actual browns, and probably layer them over some of the ochres and some of the redder colors down here and make some more. And I think that would be okay. So, alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop the video for just right now. I'm going to clean off my space, put my swatches in a plastic protective sheet, and then we'll work on Fairy Miracles for just a little bit. I will be right back. Alrighty guys and girls, I am back, and we are going to do some coloring. Probably not a whole lot because I don't have a whole lot of time left today, but we're going to do some coloring in Fairy Miracles. This is my coloring glove, and it's actually I think it's meant for like digital artists so that the pressure of their hand doesn't make marks on the screen, but it does a really good job of keeping the oils from your hand from getting on your work. This was a gift from Donna Flutie. This was from way long ago, and I love this thing. I wear it all the time when I remember, which isn't all the time, so I guess technically I'm not telling the truth. But anyway, I don't know where any of my little sheets are that I had handy that I usually put my hand on, and sometimes I forget that it's there, so that makes it difficult too. I also found my Splendor blender that I already have, just in case I decide to try it. And I'm not really sure where I'm going with this picture. I know I have these colors in. So let me find my little color wheel if I can track it down. This little color wheel is a nice little handy tool to have because it helps you pick more colors based on like the shade that you have. So let me show you how this works. So this wine red that we used, basically what I'll do is try to match it to something on here as closely as I possibly can. And I'm gonna say there's really not a match for this on here, so we'll go with like the lighter shade, which is 2. So if I point the arrow all the way across, the complementary color of that 2 is a light green, which we also already have. So at this point we have complementary colors in here, or at least pretty close. So we need to decide what color to make. I guess we're going to do the mushroom next. And I would normally use some colors like this, but I think that the berries are already kind of close. So I'm not going to go that route. Instead, I'm going to go with like the ochres, I think. I'm going to go with light ochre, gold ochre, and burnt ochre. And then if I need to come in with something dark, we can go with probably the Van Dyke. So let's pull those out. Light ochre, gold ochre, and burnt ochre. I'll go ahead and get some points on the pencils. I've got a hair wrapped around my sharpener here. Alright, I'm still using the Tagall here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the, where do I want to put this? So I want to put it, I think we'll do the top of the mushroom in the lighter colors, and then I'll move on to some darker colors for the bottom. So I'm just going to go in, I'm holding my pencil way back here, and I'm going to go in with the side of my short little point here and just shade in this lightest color, which is the light ochre. And it doesn't matter what this looks like. For those of you who haven't heard my spiel before about the reasons why I do this, with a lot of these colored pencils, just having a wax base on your piece of paper helps to move the colors around when you go in and you start blending. And not everybody does it like this. There are probably 1,000 different ways to blend out your colored pencils. This is the way that I prefer. This is the way that I learned how to do it from my many, many hours of watching artists and colorists on YouTube, and it works for me. So I put down a very light layer of my lightest color, and then I come back in with my other pencils and start doing my shading and blending and layering. And at this point, if you see like the little streaks and lines, like where you can see my pencil marks overlap, don't stress out about it yet. There's going to be a lot more pencil on here before it's all said and done. There we go. Trying to get you right in the frame. And I think what I'll end up doing is just dropping the light ochre out of the equation, and we'll move on to the gold, the burnt, and like a raw umber or a Van Dyke or something down below on the bottom half. And then maybe reserving those light colors for the door and the window or something like that. We'll see. We'll see what happens. So next I'm going to take my gold ochre, and in all these little areas where Clara has given us her little dots indicating that's where it's going to be darker, we're going to make it a little darker. And then I will decide after that where else I need to put some color. I think these little lines, I'm going to shade those in as well, like up here. So like we'll take some of it and put it like right here. Yeah, I think we're going to do that too. And then I'll come back in with just a little bit of the darkest color in that area too, because I think that'll make it look more interesting and more textured. I have no idea. It may make it look terrible. I don't know. But we're going to find out. And like you said, I doubt I'm going to have time to finish the whole entire mushroom today. But I'm trying to not color this. I know that you guys asked me to, well, some of you guys asked me to finish this on camera. So I'm going to try to do that. And I just went ahead and did the leaves and the berries because you guys watched me do that in the first video. So there wasn't much point in asking you to sit through that again. Just went ahead and finished those up so we could start with something new today. And I have new pencils to do it with, so that's even more exciting. Oh, I did get the pencils put into my pretty green case, so that's all set now. Really excited about that. I'm sorry about these shadows, guys. I wish I could find a way to make that not happen. Let me see if maybe moving my light source around the table a little bit will help. Not really, not especially. Maybe if I put this one more in front of me. Bear with me a minute, guys. I'm trying to get rid of the shadows here for you. Let's see if that does anything. That helps a little bit, doesn't it? Not much, but some. The lights are like in front of me, so I'm not really sure where all the shadows are coming from this way. Doesn't make a lot of sense. If the camera shakes, I apologize. There. Well, clearly lighting is not my forte, but we'll figure this out. I'll play with it before I make another video and try to figure out how to get the shadows to all go away. And I'm putting a little bit of the darker color here because it's kind of, the berries are kind of overlapping, so of course there's going to be a little shadow there. Or in my version of the story, there's a little shadow there. There may not be a shadow there in yours, and that's okay. That's why I like doing like buddy colors and things like that, because it's really fun to see how different people will interpret the same picture from the same artist. Like, how are 2 or 3 or, you know, many different people, how are those people going to see that picture, and what's it going to look like when they're finished, and what are they going to use, and what colors are they going to pick, and what's their reasoning behind that? If you ask me why I picked such and such colors for a picture, most of the time I'm going to tell you I have no idea, because I don't. But sometimes I pick colors based on the mood that I'm in. Like, if I'm happy and it's nice outside, I'll pick springtime colors, pastels, colors that probably remind you of like Easter eggs and things. If I'm not in such a great mood, I'm more likely to color things in darker colors, grays and blacks and browns, dark purples, deep reds. And that doesn't always hold true, so that's not true for every picture that I color, but sometimes. And I think that we do that kind of thing subconsciously. Like, we don't really even think about it, we just do it. It just happens. Alright, now I'm trying to blend this gold ochre up slightly so I can get rid of that line. Now, there's still going to be more layers of pencil going on here. So if you see pencil strokes at this point, it doesn't really make much difference. Do I want to bring it down further up here? Maybe just a little bit. Not too far though, because if I do, we're going to lose that shadow effect from the berries. Okay, so the next color is the burnt ochre, which is kind of a orangey brown, which should do a really good job here for this mushroom. And we're not going to use a whole lot of it. I'm just going to help deepen things up and make it look a little bit more interesting. I hope. We'll see what happens. So, what's the weather like where you are? If you feel like it and you're up to it and you haven't done so already, you can feel free to leave me a comment. Tell me what's been happening in your neck of the woods. Here in northwestern Kentucky, I suppose we could say. It's been really nice for the last, I don't know, couple of days, but there's rain moving in. And it's going to rain for a while, according to the weather, which is the last thing that we need, because the Ohio River is really high, and I'm afraid if it continues, it's going to flood. Of course, when the Ohio River is technically at flood stage, it doesn't impact a whole lot of people. I mean, it does impact some people, but it's not as bad as it could be, mainly because people have prepared for that. It's when it goes way above flood stage that it really starts to become a problem. And, you know, way above flood stage is just a couple of feet. So, and if it keeps raining, that's what I'm afraid is going to happen. That we're going to get to that point that people are going to have to start scrambling. They're going to need some sandbags and some help, which, you know, it wouldn't be the first time I've went to help people sandbag. It's a lovely place to live. It's really pretty. It's nice to be able to, you know, pack up a fishing rod and some night crawlers or chicken livers and go catch some giant catfish. But at the same time, you know, Mother Nature's fury can be pretty harsh. So it's give and take. Give and take. And of course, you know, we get some nasty severe weather here too. We get tornadoes and hail and high winds, straight line winds. But we're generally spared from the major blizzards and several feet of snow. We don't get that kind of weather usually. We have, but not usually. I know that in the wintertime here it gets cold. Like, it gets cold in the winter, and in the summer it is hot. We'll regularly have heat indexes well above 100. And in the wintertime, it gets below 0 all the time. So we get a little taste of everything here, which I think makes it a great place to live. It's just that when the weather is at an extreme, it's hard not to complain. It's hard not to be just like, please let it cool off, or please let it warm up. And I think that this is the first year in a really long time that we've actually had something of a spring. where it'll usually go from really cold, and then we'll have like a couple days worth of rain, and then the next day it's so hot you can't breathe. This year, that's not the case. So Mother Nature has blessed us with a nice spring this year. The calm before the summer heat wave. Alright, I need to make it just a little bit darker on this side. And then we'll come back in and really start working on blending out some of these colors. And then I'll have to decide whether I want some darker color in there somewhere. And I might want to add something else. I'm just not sure yet. As a matter of fact, what I want to do is find a piece of paper. Do I have an extra one in here? Yes, I do. I want to see what happens if I mix these colors and then put a gray over the top. What kind of shadows I get. So here's a nice little exercise for you guys if you're ever curious about what colors to use for a shadow. Just take your pencils that you're using and layer the colors on top of each other just like this. Let me put it where you can see it. So here's all my colors that I'm using. And then pull out your colors that you're considering using for a shadow and just try them out. See what happens. That's what the medium gray. And that's what the dark gray. Now these are both pretty, they look like pretty cool colors, so I'm not entirely certain that's going to be my best choice. I think the medium gray would actually work for what I'm trying to do, so we'll leave that one out just in case I need it. Yeah, my squeaky chair. Alright. And I may put it just like down around the very, very edge here. Oh, I forgot to put my stuff here in a couple of spaces. So we need to put some of this here. It's not very much. And some of it over here, because we've just got a few little spots here where she's trying to tell us that it's going to be a little bit darker. And then I need to come in with my, the lightest touch I can muster here. Just so we have like a hint of it. And you put it around these little raised spots. Just like that. And then over here too. Pretty good. Alright, so now I'm going to go back in with my gold ochre, and I'm going to layer it right over top of that brown ochre, or burnt ochre. Just going to kind of go around the edges here. And as I get out toward the center, I'm just going to try to fade it out so that when I go back in with the light ochre, it's easier to blend all that out. That's kind of what I was afraid of. I was afraid that the burnt ochre was going to get a little bit lost in there. So I can always try to come back and add like another layer of it and see what that does. It may make a difference, and then again it may not. Let's see what happens. It's not too bad. It's actually really not. It actually kind of did what I wanted it to do. So I'm going to take my Splendor blender now. I'm going to go over here in this corner. And we're going to see if it actually does anything. I've used these before, and I've never actually gotten it to really work very much for me, and I know some people swear by them. But for me, it doesn't really move the color. It acts more like a burnisher than a blender. And I've got lots of pigment down, so I know that can't be it. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to do anything for me. If anybody has any tips on using that Splendor blender, feel free to leave me those too, because I clearly need them. We're going to go back up underneath the berry here. Oh yeah, making sure I got the right ochre. I'm like, did I pick up the wrong one? I'm using a heavier touch when I'm like over that burnt ochre, because the heavier touch helps to kind of cover it up a little bit, pull it down, blend it out. And then as I get closer and closer to the center, I'm just like lightening up my touch, so that when I go back in with a light ochre, it's easier to blend in. I'm going to pull that down a little bit more. Not too far. I'm trying to mark myself like a little spot here where I know I've got it out far enough. Yeah, that should work. And then we've got our shadows here underneath the berries. So we need to make that pretty heavy and dark. And then we'll start pulling it down. Now for me to get rid of all of my pencil marks here, it's probably going to take me several layers, and that's okay. I'm used to several layers. Whether or not I actually have time to finish all of that on camera, I'm not sure. But if I don't, you can head on over to the Simple Art for Adults Facebook page. There is not a Simple Art for Adults Facebook group now. That has become the Coloring Connection. If you haven't seen it, or if you're not a member, head on over there. A really, really friendly group of people, guys and gals. It's just, it's a really awesome place to be. So head on over there and check it out. But I will post my finished picture in that Facebook group, and I will also be posting it on the Simple Art for Adults Facebook page. So it is not a group, it is just a page where you can keep up with the latest news. You can leave comments and things of that nature. If you have a question, you can send a message. Can't guarantee you that I'll get around to answering everybody's messages, because there's a lot of them and there's one of me, but I will do my very best. So now I'm using a hard pressure here, trying to make sure that I don't have any pencil lines left behind. Essentially almost burnishing the page at this point, just in the center part, because I want the yellow to be nice and glowy in the middle. Now if I bring my gold ochre back out and I use a hard pressure with it as well, it will blend right into that. And that's how it works. So at that point, it does look like I'm losing my ochre again. So I'm going to be at a point soon where I'm not going to be able to put a lot of layers. But I do want to make sure that I have my ochre in there dark enough that I like it, and that I think it makes enough contrast. And I think so. I think that looks good. I'm going to come back in with the gold ochre and blend it out so I don't have a harsh line. And there you go. So the rest of this side I'm going to finish up here in just a little bit. I will probably try the Splendor blender again to see if I can get it to work. It just doesn't seem, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to do much of anything for me, which is really, really strange, because I know there's a lot of people who Swear by the thing, especially like with their polychromos. They say it really works with polychromos. But I've tried it with those too, and I don't know, I don't have a whole lot of luck with it. So, like I said, if you have tips or anything, feel free to let me know what those are, and I'll give those a shot. At this point, though, unfortunately, I do have to call it a night. I have been recording now for well over an hour, and I have got to start driving people around. I've got kids that need to go do things. I need to go to the grocery store more than anything else. I need some sweet tea in my life, so I'm going to go do that. But keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be recording again Thursday night. Right now it's Tuesday night. You guys probably won't see this until well into Wednesday, but I will be recording again on Thursday night. And I'm thinking I'm going to get the nice little town thing going again, so we can get that finished up. And once we get that finished up, we can move on to something different, which will be a lot of fun. Probably Sagar Elk Sagner, I hope. Alright guys, if you like this video and you want to see more like it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please do that too, because that's the way that you're going to get notifications, also by ringing the little bell down there in the corner. Other than that, I do want to thank you guys very much for taking the time to watch me color, hang out with me while I'm swatching. Check the description box downstairs if you want to check out the different products that I've used today. If you want to see other links to fun things, the Facebook page, all of that fun stuff. And in the meantime, happy coloring!